Welcome to this subject introduction video for OCR's 2016 Level 3 Cambridge Technicals in Business. My name is Sarah Padell. I'm a development specialist at OCR and I've been working on the development of the Business Cambridge Technicals. I'm really excited to be able to share with you our 2016 Cambridge Technicals in Business suite. It's available for teaching from September 2016 and contains 5 sizes of qualification: the certificate, extended certificate, foundation diploma and diploma, and the extended diploma. All the Cambridge Technicals in Business are categorised by the DfE as Applied General and are graded at Pass, Merit Distinction and Distinction Star. The Business Suite consists of 22 units, which we will look at later. All units are graded as a Pass, Merit or Distinction. For qualification certification, all units must be achieved at a minimum of Pass level. We've designed the qualifications to give students flexibility within their study programme. Depending on the size they choose to study, your students' Cambridge Technical in Business may make up the bulk of their 2-year study programme, or be taken alongside other vocational or academic qualifications. Whatever route they choose, you can be confident that your students will be able to progress to a university degree programme or into employment or an apprenticeship where they could continue to study. Now, let's look at the structure of the different size qualifications. The certificate is 180 guided learning hours, which is the equivalent size to 1 AS level. Your students will need to complete 2 units to achieve this qualification. Unit 1 is mandatory and 120 guided learning hours. Your students then choose one other unit from the range of optional units that are available at this size. Our certificate will give your students a broad grounding across the subjects. Because this size is 180 guided learning hours, it makes it suitable for students looking for a qualification that will complement other subjects in their study programme and prepare them for further study. The extended certificate is 360 guided learning hours, which is the equivalent size to 1 A level. Your students will need to complete 5 units. There are 3 mandatory units, units 1, 2 and 4. Your students then choose 2 other units from the optional units available at this size. This size of qualification gives your students the flexibility to take other qualifications, vocational or academic, alongside it. Your students will be able to progress to a university degree programme or into employment where they could continue to study. The foundation diploma is 540 guided learning hours, which is the equivalent size to 3 AS levels or 1.5 A levels. There are 8 units in this qualification. All of them are mandatory. Our foundation diploma will give your students a broad understanding of business without specialising in a specific business function. This will allow your students flexibility and choice for progression, preparing them to study a range of degree programmes or even into employment or an apprenticeship. The diploma is 720 guided learning hours. This is the equivalent size to 2 A levels. At this size, your students can choose from 2 different business-specific pathways to follow: marketing or accounting. The marketing pathway has 10 units. All of them are mandatory. 3 of the units are marketing specific and were written alongside experts within the sector. They cover the topics of marketing research, strategy and campaigns. Our marketing pathway will allow your students to develop the skills required for working in the sector. The content brings together traditional and new marketing techniques and media and emphasises the importance of market research and strategy when running a multi-channel campaign. The accounting pathway also has 10 mandatory units, and like the marketing pathway, there are 3 units that are specific to accounting: accounting concepts, financial accounting and management accounting. We engaged with the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales to develop the content of these units. Giving you confidence, your students will gain the knowledge and skills required to embark on a career in the financial sector. Our diploma will form the bulk of your students' study programme, but gives them the flexibility to study other smaller qualifications alongside it. They could then progress to a university degree programme in a relevant business discipline, or into employment or an apprenticeship where they would continue to study. The extended diploma is 1080 guided learning hours. This is the equivalent size of 3 A levels. There are a total of 15 units in the qualification. 13 of the units are mandatory. This includes 6 externally assessed units and 7 units that are internally assessed. There are a total of 6 optional units, all internally assessed, and your students must choose 2 of these units. our extended diploma in business will form the bulk of your student study programme in preparation for progression to university, employment or an apprenticeship. The extended diploma provides a broad range of subject skills, knowledge and understanding, and a variety of transferable skills that will equip your students for further study in the sector. As I've already mentioned, our diploma, 720 guided learning hours, has 2 sector-specific pathways, marketing and accounting. These 2 pathways were chosen as a result of research with both universities and employers. By developing the skills required in either of these 2 key business areas, they believe that students will be equipped to undertake further study in a range of business-related areas, or be well prepared to enter the workplace. Feedback from universities and employers was used to inform the content of both of these pathways, and letters of support from both can be found on our website. The marketing pathway is aimed at your students who like to stay up to date on trends, are optimistic and creative and want to apply this to marketing and business. Your students will develop the knowledge, skills and understanding of marketing activities and how they're planned and coordinated. This pathway will allow your students to apply their understanding of marketing segmentation in planning marketing strategies. They'll use different types of market research methods and evaluate the results. They'll also investigate the promotional methods available and the contribution digital marketing makes to business. Plus, your students will apply their understanding of the marketing mix and use business tools to propose a marketing strategy. All of this learning will inform how your students plan and pitch a marketing campaign. The accounting pathway is for students who have an aptitude for numbers, are good at problem solving and are able to record data accurately. Ideally, they enjoy taking a systematic approach, are organised and can pay attention to detail. In this pathway, they'll develop the knowledge, skills and understanding needed to maintain business records, use books of original entry and double entry bookkeeping, produce final accounts, use ratios to assess the performance of a business, recognise the impact of legislation accounting procedures. Plus, they'll use financial information to make realistic decisions about likely courses of action a business could take in the future. We've worked with a range of employers throughout the development of these qualifications, including the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales, Richer Sounds, Bouygues UK, Alton Towers, BT, Jagex Games Studio, and we're also working with employers to create project delivery approaches. Alton Towers are working with us to create a project approach which draws upon their latest marketing activity around the Galactica virtual reality roller coaster that will facilitate delivery of 3 marketing units. We're also working with Bouygues UK to develop a delivery approach that will develop the project management skills needed to deliver a business project. You must consider the relationship between the units when you plan the learning programme. To help you with your delivery planning, most units highlight opportunities for synoptic teaching and learning. In Units 2, 3 and 15, which are all externally examined, 10% of the marks available will be synoptic assessment. Requiring application of knowledge from Unit 1, it will be possible for students to make connections between other units over and above the unit containing the key tasks for synoptic assessment. Please see Section 6 of the Centre Handbook for more detail. We've indicated in each unit where these links are with an asterisk and provided more detail in the next section. For Unit 20, your students will apply what they've learned in other units they have taken, providing further application of their knowledge and skills in a synoptic way that enhances the applied nature of the qualification. For Unit 22, your students will draw on their skills, knowledge and understanding acquired throughout other units and apply what they have learned to delivering a business project, which will also provide opportunities for synoptic assessment and enhance the applied nature of the qualification. Throughout the development, we've listened to the views of teachers. By doing so, we've designed qualifications that you are able to deliver using any mode of delivery that meets the needs of your students. References to real-life scenarios and case studies using local examples can be used to bring the content to life and help your students to understand the relevance of what they are learning. Of course, whichever mode of delivery you decide to use, your students will need to have access to appropriate resources to ensure that they will develop the skills, understanding and knowledge required to complete the assessments. We recommend you reference teaching and development of subject content and associated skills to real-life situations and case studies. There are also plenty of opportunities to co-deliver and assess a number of units, and details of which units complement each other can be found in the unit documents and the delivery guides. While work experience is not a requirement of these qualifications, the practical elements within the internally assessed units would provide opportunities for your students to consolidate their learning and develop their skills, knowledge and understanding further if an appropriate work experience placement is available. Any work they undertake during such work experience could contribute to the evidence for summative assessments. You must plan this with your students and the employer so the work allows the student to cover the requirements of the unit and you're able to authenticate it. All external assessment takes the form of written examinations. There are 2 exam series each year, January and June. Exam dates are set by us. Should a student not achieve a pass in any of their externally assessed units, there will be an opportunity for 1 resit per unit at an additional cost, and the best result will be used. For externally assessed units where the content contains IE and EG under specific areas of content, the following rules will be adhered to when we set questions for an exam. A direct question may be asked about unit content which follows an IE. Where unit content is shown as an EG, a direct question will not be asked about that example. In order to plan your teaching, you need to consider when you are going to enter your students for the exams. If you are not familiar with exam registration, you need to take into account the entry dates for each series. The following units are externally assessed. Unit 1, the business environment, will consist of a 2-hour written exam consisting of multiple choice questions, short answer questions based on a pre-released research brief, and questions based upon an unseen business scenario. Unit 2, working in business, will consist of a section of short answer questions based on in-tray exercises and 2 longer questions, at least one of which will require an extended response. Unit 3, Business Decisions, will consist of short answer questions based on pre-release scenarios and 2 extended response questions based on pre-release scenarios. Unit 9, Human Resources, will consist of short answer and medium response questions based on applied human resources scenarios following the theme of one business. There will also be 2 extended response evaluative questions as well. Unit 10, Economics for Business. This will consist of short and medium response questions based on scenarios which illustrate the economic environment of one business, as well as 2 extended response evaluative questions. Unit 15, Change Management, will consist of 2 questions. The first question will be split into 2 to 4 medium, longer response sub-questions, which are based on short change management scenarios, 2 of which will be extended responses. The second question will be split into 1 to 3 medium longer response sub-questions based on data relating to the scenario set in section 1. 1 question will require an extended response. Depending upon the qualification size chosen, the majority of the units are internally assessed. This means your students will be set assessment assignments by you. You'll mark your students' work using the assessment criteria in the grading grid. You can even provide them with some feedback. Once ready, you'll make a claim and we'll moderate the work for you. To support your internal assessment, we'll provide a model assignment for every mandatory unit in the specification. You can use these with your students, adapt it to meet your local environment, or use it as a basis to create your own assignment. Because of the nature of vocational qualifications, we believe that allowing you to create assignments that meet your students' needs and interests will benefit them more and give them greater success. Your assessment assignments should reflect the practical nature of the units. For example, in Unit 22, as a team, students will collectively take responsibility for project management to ensure the successful planning, implementation, monitoring and control of the project. Team members will need to be adaptable and able to work with different people in a range of different ways. Students will create individual plans that define their own role in the project, administration, delivery and support. But if you're unsure, an assignment checking service is available and can be accessed through the CPD hub on our website. However, it's not mandatory for assignments to be endorsed by OCR. Students can be assessed at any time within their study programme and will provide you with 2 free moderation visits per academic year. This flexibility, combined with our efficient administration process, enables you to focus on what's important, delivering a study programme that meets the needs of your students rather than completing the additional paperwork that our competitors require. We'll moderate your claim when you're ready, but we'd suggest you plan when you'd expect your students to be ready for moderation and discuss this with your moderator and get your visits booked in well in advance, particularly in the summer term, as this can get very busy. Your students can resubmit an assignment if they've not performed at their best, but you must use your discretion as to whether or not this is in their interests. We believe this is a real advantage compared to our competitors, who require your students to complete a brand new assignment within a very short time frame. Our internal assessment really does put your students at the heart of this process, allowing them to reach their maximum potential. We'd also strongly advise you leave time in your planning in case a unit needs to be resubmitted. And please remember that if your students require UCAS points, you must have completed all units and have them moderated by the 30th of June. For more information on internal assessment, you could attend our live webinar training or watch our support video. We provide sample assessment material for the externally assessed units. This is because we set the assessment for these units. Sample assessments show you what the assessment will look like, and you can use them as practice materials. Each year, we'll make the exams from the previous year available as practice papers. You can download sample assessment material and eventually past papers from our website, www.ocr.org.uk. To be awarded a full qualification, a student must achieve at least a pass grade for all units required for the qualification. If they don't do so, they won't be awarded the qualification. Students will be awarded a combination of pass, merit, distinction or distinction star qualification grades determined by the aggregation of points gained through the successful achievement of individual units. The number of points available for each unit depends on the unit grade achieved. More information on this can be found in the qualification handbooks. You will need to refer to some or all of the following JCQ documents: instructions for conducting examinations, suspected malpractice in examinations and assessments, access arrangements and reasonable adjustments, and a guide to the special consideration process. Find these at www.jcq.org.uk. If you have any questions and want to talk to us, please feel free to do so. You can call us on 02476 851 509 or send us an email at vocationalqualifications@ocr.org.uk. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has given you a flavour of the Cambridge Technicals in Business, and we very much look forward to working with you in the future.